Hello, how are you? Hope you're well. I thought I'd do a video today. That was not the best angle. Oh dear. I just felt like doing a video today. I'm not sure if this quality is going to see us through. It's very, very grainy. Looks like I'm trying to transmit this video from outer space. I'm not loving it. Can't lie. But I really wanted to do this. How are we going to make this better? Anyway, I want to do a video on I've spoken about the work that I do in Reiki before, but I kind of wanted to elaborate on it more because people ask me about being a Reiki healer, what it actually means, how it, in a way, how it came about, and kind of the spiritual community that I have joined by default by being a Reiki healer. Now, the first thing I'll say about being a Reiki healer is that I never knew that I was a healer. There's a lot of people that just kind of call themselves a healer. I'm a healer. Me personally, I believe that you are called to be a healer by someone else who's been in the spiritual community a long time, doing the teachings, all that kind of thing, will know when they come into the energy of someone who has that healing energy. I think that, a lot of people have intuition. Everyone has intuition. Everyone, and but there is a level of extra intuition that brings you into the healing space, and that isn't to be not inclusive, but it definitely is a thing. And if you speak to people that have been healing well for many years, many more years than I've ever been, they will tell you about this. Those are the people that have attuned people for years. They teach healing. They travel all over the world. They know their stuff. And so I'm going to be honest, people who just kind of name themselves as being a healer, I think that's kind of an ego thing. I never called myself a healer before I was told I was a healer. I always had an intuition that I really ignored. I always had sensitivity to energy and feelings, but didn't know what that meant. I remember I had a DNA activation by my friend Steph, who has been a healer for years. Like, when I met her, I wasn't even thinking about being a healer. I knew that I was sensitive to energy and I was already working in mental health and well-being, but healing, no, just wasn't on my radar, I'll be honest. She was one of the first people to bring my awareness to healing and my abilities. After this DNA activation, my hands, they were just charged. I could not sleep because they were just charged. It was a madness. And it was funny because I was about to go on a massage course a few days afterwards. So I knew that there was something being brought into my hands that I needed to do. And that was when I started to think about Reiki. But it's really weird because I didn't look for courses. A course found me, and I really mean that. I was just on Facebook one day doing my nosy stuff, and a course came up for a Reiki one, and I remember being told about Reiki years ago, and I was just like, what's that? Nah. I just wasn't spiritually attuned at all. I wasn't attuned to myself. I was not attuned to God, nothing. I was attuned to alcohol and partying. That's what I was attuned to. So yeah, it wasn't till those moments that I was led down this path, this journey, and that's how it came about. So I really, everybody's different, but in my opinion, you will get told by somebody who works in the healing modality, who has been for years, that you are a healer. You don't kind of just name yourself. You know, you might be a nice person and very empathetic, but that's a whole nother story. The other thing is, no, I've been doing Reiki for a while, and some people, you know, can see that it's, you know, doing, you know, better than I expected, I'm going to be honest, which is lovely. And then you'll get people going, I want to do a bit of that Reiki. I want to do that. It's not the reason why you do Reiki. You don't do it to make money. Of course you do. You need to make money. You've got to be able to switch on your damn light, you know. But if you're starting it with that in your head, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons, because the reason why you actually become a healer is because you have learned to heal yourself. You are now open to the spiritual lessons that the universe is going to chuck at you. Trust me, that is what happens. In your level 1 of Reiki attunement, it is so hard. Oh my God, I can't tell you about the kind of spiral that I went on after I got attuned, and that was just Reiki 1. And I think it's quite necessary, because you have to face your shit, but you also have to learn what healing really is. You have to really look at yourself in the mirror and stop. One thing about Reiki, which is great, is that it teaches you to stop looking outwards and look within. And you can do that whether you are a Reiki healer or if you are just receiving Reiki, because a good Reiki teacher, a good Reiki healer will show you this anyway, and you will begin to do that. So that's one of the really good things. There's so many good things about Reiki. It's the self-awareness, it's the intuition that grows, it's the self-love that grows, it's the empowerment that you take on when you start your healing journey, and you decide that you want to start having Reiki. It's just wonderful. However, if you decide that you want to be a Reiki healer because you want to make some cash, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons, because I will tell you now that working on people's energy all the time is very heavy work. If you are already tired out by people in general, just being around people all the time, times that by, I don't know, 20, 50, because you are about to take on people's energies. And now, of course, you will learn how to cleanse your energy and protect yourself. However, you're still going to have that. You're still going to have that kind of energy hangover, especially if you're doing back-to-back clients all the time. So it's really important that you become self-aware and learn how to cleanse and learn, you know, the real the way things really work. You're not just kind of going magic hands, you know. It's not, you didn't create this. It comes through you via an attunement, via a lineage that has gone back years, and it's so important to be respectful to that. The other thing was, the other day I was getting my nails done. Doesn't really look like it now, but it don't matter. And there was a lady in there, and she's like, yeah, I did my Reiki 1, but I didn't really think there was anything about, you know, just hovering over somebody. And that really made me laugh. I wasn't even offended, because I definitely don't just hover over someone. And I think I might have said that to her. I said, if you thought, you definitely probably went into Reiki for the wrong reasons if you felt that you were just hovering over somebody, because it's if you are really attuned, you will feel what's going on. You've got to get out of your ego, and stop thinking about yourself when you're doing Reiki, and just get into the energy. Start focusing on your breath, really zoning out, and take that energy that you're receiving and put it into the person. You are certainly not hovering over nobody, and if that's what you're doing, you aren't doing Reiki. So that really made me laugh when that lady said that, because yeah, definitely not for you. So Yeah, those are a few of the things. Yeah, you've got to do it for the right reasons. You definitely don't do it for money, although you do it. If you're providing it as a service, of course you're doing it to make an income. But if that is why you go into it, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons, because it is a commitment to your own healing. And if you are not in commitment to your own healing, you can't heal somebody else. And that's the bottom line here. And also, yeah, I think that it's really important not to get into the ego of these things. The other thing I wanted to say is that there's so much information out there about Reiki, and its use in the NHS, and how it helps people recover from trauma. And I know people, professional psychotherapists and all that kind of thing in the traditional fields are horrified that this is happening, because they are so used to the models, the theories, and all those things are really important. But we know now that things like Reiki and EFT, which I do as well, have a massive effect on improving people's mental health and well-being, and their recovery, and their aiding their recovery in trauma, and so much more than talking therapy. And I know that this is kind of, they don't really like it, because there's hardly, the only evidence that they have to base it on is the patients themselves and their recovery. But there is some basis if you do brain scans and things like that, and you look at somebody's brain before they have Reiki or EFT or a massage and things like that, you will see that the difference that has been made before and after. So a lot of these people that are like, oh, that's just quack stuff, they just haven't done enough research, and they're just stuck on being theoretical. There's a book called The Body Keeps Score, which is amazing, and it backs up all of this. So, you know, if they're in any doubt, they need to go read that book, or they read it and they ignored all that other stuff. So, yeah, it's a really important development, and I see it all the time in my work, in my clients that come in that have trauma, mental health problems, you know, lots of different life difficulties that they might be having, and the Reiki empowers them. And it's not only the Reiki, it's, you know, for me, sometimes I find it really hard to talk about what I do, because a lot of it is very intuitive. I don't have a set way of doing things. There is no one person that comes in and has the same Reiki, because I look at everybody on an individual basis. Yeah, it's really taught me a lot. You know, you don't just go in and lay hands. You know, it's really, I intuitively decide what we're going to do when that person arrives. I'll always have an idea, but depending on what energies come in when I talk to this person, what they write on their client file, I will decide upon what we're going to do that then and there. And that has worked really, really well, because that person gets to be helped with their individual needs, rather than just a kind of a process that is just put together and everybody gets the same thing. So yeah, I really hope this is helpful. I hope there's a bit of myth busting there. You know, it's not just magic hands or some hovering over people, and it's definitely not a money making system, because there's a lot more to it. Even my boyfriend that calls me a quack has noticed how much energy is sapped out of me when I have done some really heavy work, and you know, that I have to take some time out just to chill and get it together, which, you know, I know what I'm doing now, but you know, sometimes it can get the better of you. So especially being an empath, again, there's another one of those words that I didn't choose for myself. I'd always read about it and think, oh, sounds a bit like me. But it wasn't until someone that I'd actually never met that commented on something on social media and said, you're really empathetic, aren't you? And I was like, How did she know that? We've never even met. It's just from comments and things that I've written. So again, you know, just through that, I've always kind of taken on a lot of energies around me, but not been able to put a name to it until, you know, people that know much better, that are in these fields and that kind of thing, come along and put a label on it. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful. And if you want to know a bit more about Reiki or EFT or TFT, EFT is the emotional freedom technique, and TFT is thought therapy, thought field therapy. And I do all three of those things. So yeah, if you're ever interested in having some or learning a little bit more, shout me. And yeah, I apologize for the quality of this video, but I really wanted to do this video now. I hope it's been helpful and I hope you've enjoyed it. See you soon. Take care.